The story of Theseus begins with his father, Aegeus, king of Athens, who was troubled because he had no heir to the throne. He traveled to the oracle of Delphi to seek guidance. The oracle gave him a cryptic prophecy, telling him not to untie the mouth of the wine sack until he returned to Athens. Aegeus was puzzled, but on his way back, he visited Troezen, where he met King Theseus. Theseus, understanding the prophecy better than Aegeus, devised a plan to ensure that Aegeus would father a child. He got Aegeus drunk and arranged for him to spend the night with his daughter, Aethra. That night, Aethra also had an encounter with Poseidon, the god of the sea, according to some versions of the myth. Thus, Theseus was born with both a mortal and divine parentage. Before Aegeus left Troezen, he hid his sword and sandals under a large rock and told Aethra that if she bore a son, he should lift the rock when he came of age. Theseus grew up in Troezen, raised by his mother Aethra without knowing who his father was. From a young age he showed extraordinary strength, courage and intelligence. When he reached adulthood, Aethra took him to the rock where Aegeus had hidden the sword and sandals. Theseus easily lifted the rock, retrieved the items, and set off on a journey to Athens. Instead of taking the safer route by sea, Theseus chose to travel by land to Athens, which was fraught with danger. Along the way, he encountered several notorious bandits and monsters. Theseus decided to rid the road of these evildoers, defeating each one in a manner that mirrored the crimes they had committed. Periphetes, known as the club-bearer, was a bandit who used an iron club to kill travelers. Theseus killed him using the same club. Cenes, the pine-bender, would tie travelers to bent pine trees and release them, tearing them apart. Theseus killed Cenes in the same way. Chiron forced travelers to wash his feet on the edge of a cliff, and would then kick them into the sea to be devoured by a giant turtle. Theseus threw Chiron off the cliff instead. Circean, a wrestler, challenged travelers to a wrestling match to the death. Theseus defeated him in a wrestling match and killed him. Procrustes, the stretcher, had a bed he forced travelers to lie on. If they were too short, he would stretch them. If they were too tall, he would cut off their limbs. Theseus killed him by making him lie in his own bed. By the time Theseus arrived in Athens, he had already become a hero for ridding the road of these dangerous criminals. When Theseus reached Athens, his father Aegeus did not recognize him. At the time, Aegeus was living with Medea, the sorceress who had fled from Jason after the fall of their relationship. Medea recognized Theseus' identity and, fearing that he would claim the throne, plotted to poison him. Medea convinced Aegeus that Theseus was a stranger who meant him harm, and Aegeus agreed to have him poisoned. However, just before Theseus drank the poisoned wine, Aegeus noticed the sword Theseus carried, the same sword he had left for his son. He knocked the cup from Theseus' hand and embraced him as his son. Medea fled Athens shortly afterward.